Hey y'all, Chris Jones here, Guerrilla Realty, and this is going to be a quick video on how to convert FSBOs into listings. This goes great with our ultimate listing presentation, which you can find at guerrillarealty.com, and then go to strategies and go to the ultimate listing presentation. But I'm not going to cover the presentation here. This is just how to get the appointment in the first place and how to take FSBOs, which we all know could be the best and the worst leads. They're the best because they're selling. They're selling because they've actually put their home up on the market. They're relatively motivated because they went through all the trouble and hassle of putting it up for sale by owner. Okay. But they're also the worst leads because there's a reason why they decided to do it themselves and not use a realtor. And it could be personal. They could personally hate realtors, hate to break it to you, but realtors not the most popular profession in America. Or it could just be a budget thing, like their margin on their property, they're close to being upside down in it, and they just don't have it to be able to pay out a commission, okay, and still break even on the property. Or it could just be that they're cheapskates and they don't want to pay a commission if they think they could do it on their own. So whether it's personal or whether it's a money thing, this person is highly motivated not to use a realtor. And so when you call them up, well, if you've ever cold called FSBOs, you know that you get a lot of FUs, a lot of hangups. That generally there's just a lot of distrust toward realtors, and they can be the most difficult person to deal with. Okay. So I'm going to show you a script that we've developed that you never get hung up on. Okay. I make friends. I've used this hundreds of times, and I make friends with everyone, even if they don't ultimately list their property with me. And I'm going to show you why it's totally different from the normal approach. Okay. There's no lying. There's no deceit. There's no trickery in it like there is with most FSBO scripts. It just adds a lot of value and makes people really like you. So before we get to the script, I want to show you where you find FSBO leads. You probably already know this, but unless you have one of those FSBO download services, you can pay like $100 a month for. They can be really useful if you approach FSBOs a lot, but you can also find them here on Zillow. So if you type in your area, you go to Raleigh, North Carolina, for example, and then you go to for sale, you can actually select who you want to see. And that I just recommend unselecting everybody except for the for sale by owners. And this will show you just the properties that are for sale by owner in the area. Okay. And so all of these represent a for sale by owner property. And there's a lot of them. Okay. In fact, it shows that there's 179 essentially listing leads for you to approach. And, that's like a week's worth of leads, even if you're calling all day, every single day. Okay, so you could potentially take a lot of listings in this area. So what you would do is you click on the property, scroll all the way to the bottom where they store the owner's information right here, or even farther down, there's the phone number right here. And then you're just going to call them up. So grab your trusty iPhone, and then let's get to work. Now, the script that I use, you can find at recallscripts.com. It's a totally free service, and it actually has tons of great scripts, not just our scripts. We've gotten some of the best coaches in the industry to agree to put their scripts here. And so all different kinds of scripts, all different types of scenarios that the scripts apply to. But anyway, we're going to look for one specific script. Go to authors Levi Jones, and then it's this one right here, unique FSBO cold call script. So you don't have to have a previous relationship with the for sale by owner. You can actually cold call them straight from Zillow. So select the script, and then I always recommend that you personalize it. So you click this link, enter your info, and now you can literally read straight from the website, or you could print it out if you're a paper person. But here's how the script goes, and I'm gonna make it as quick as possible. So I say, hi, my name is Chris Jones with Guerrilla Realty. Are you the owner of 123 Main Street? Or in this case, it's actually 701 Lanham Place in Raleigh, North Carolina. And they say, yes. Now, at this point, they might be a little apprehensive because you sound like a realtor. And remember, they hate realtors. But we're about to completely undo that. Okay, so I say, okay, great. Can I come by and take a video of your property this week? And this is the only place in the script where you might get even the slightest bit of reluctance. And the main thing is they're wondering why. Okay, so you're normally going to get some kind of answer like, I guess, why? Okay, sure. But you have to quickly satisfy their curiosity or their suspicion and let them know that this isn't sneaky. This isn't them trying to get a presentation with you, that you're actually not interested in the listing at all. You're just interested in helping your buyer clients. Okay. And so I say, well, I have several out of town buyers, By the way, if you don't actually have out-of-town buyers, then you need to come up with a different reason. I never recommend lying to a potential listing lead. Okay. So in my case, I use Pipeline Pro Tools. So I generate out-of-town buyers 4 or 5 a day. So I always have tons of out-of-town buyers. So I say I have several out-of-town buyers and I'd like to show the property to them. I just prefer never to drive out to the same house more than once if I can avoid it. Okay. So I let them know, number one, I'm busy. Number two, I'm working with several clients right now. And number three, most importantly, I'm not interested in your listing, at least not right now. Okay. And this is more than enough to satisfy their curiosity. So normally they say, okay, yeah, no problem. I've had people ask for proof that I'm a realtor, and I actually appreciate this. It's pretty smart. So you're not just letting any Joe Blow who called you off of Zillow to get into your property. And so you could text a picture of your business card or your real estate license card. You might even offer that up front. And then they'll have a picture of it if anything shady happened. But then they'll give you the lockbox code. Okay. So you want to go to the house, take video clips and photos, and then you could use our Listing Cake service to create an awesome video tour. Now, if you're not familiar with Listing Cake, you can go to listingcake.com. It's 100% free. What you do is you drop all of your listing like videos and photos into the service, choose a layout, choose some music, enter your own info, and then hit create. And it's going to create an awesome professional looking listing video that you can share back with the for sale by owner. Okay. So after you've done that, you create a single property website for the property. Okay. Now, I can do this on the fly because I have Pipeline Pro Tools. Anybody with Pipeline Pro Tools can do this on the fly. If you don't have it, it's not totally necessary. It just helps you generate a ton more leads. So this isn't a pitch for our software, but it does make things easier. So create a single property website for the property and then wait a day and call back. Okay. So when I call back and say, hey, it's Chris again. Thanks for letting me come take a video. It's a beautiful property. I'm curious, why in the world are you selling it? And the reason I like to ask this question is that they will quickly tell you their motivation and their time frame for selling. So just in the course of answering this, you're going to learn a lot about how you can help them as a realtor. Okay. So regardless of their answer, I always say, okay, I understand. Well, look, I put together a professional video tour of the property. Are you interested in seeing it? And without a doubt, every single time, without fail, they will tell you yes. And the reason why is you got to remember, this is their baby. They lived here for a number of years usually. And they take a lot of pride in it. In fact, we as realtor, we always joke around. We know that most people overvalue their house. They think that it's worth a lot more than it actually is. And so for that reason, they're always going to want to see what you've put together for the video. And so I say, well, I'll email it to you. What's your best email address? And they'll give you the email. And I say, okay, I'll send it over. By the way, you can share this link on Facebook and ask your friends to share it as well. A lot of times you can create a little viral loop that gets enough traffic to actually find a buyer in the first couple of weeks. Okay, so this is going to get you a ton of publicity. So, share it on Facebook, ask your other friends in the area to share it on Facebook, and a lot of people will actually get to see it. Okay, what's cool about this is my single property website has a lead capture form on it. So when people visit from Facebook and they're going to be pouring in all the friends, everyone wanting to see it, when they come over, they're going to enter their name, email, and phone number. And I'm going to know, okay, this is somebody who's interested in a property, whether it's this one or another one. And I've just generated buyer leads for me. Okay. So now I'm already net positive on this whole method, even if I don't end up taking the listing from this for sale by owner. Okay. I've already generated buyer leads and the whole strategy is paid off for me. Okay. That's the beauty of it, is that you're going to generate leads, listing leads and buyer leads, regardless as if you actually take this for sale by owner lead. Okay. They always agree. They say, okay, yeah, I'll share it on Facebook and we'll see what happens. Okay. And then I offer one more thing. I say, by the way, there's another way you can connect with more buyers on Zillow. And I'm sure you've noticed, but they put their premier agents all over your page right next to your listing, and your contact information is all the way at the bottom. In fact, when I called you today, I had to search all the way at the bottom of the listing just to find your number. And typically they're going to commiserate with you. They're going to agree, and they're going to grumble something ugly about Zillow and how much of a hassle it is and blah, blah, blah. And I hate realtors and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I say, well, I don't know if you're interested, but we have a way of branding the lead photo on Zillow so that people can text you for a free video tour. And the truth is that's what everyone wants anyway. Okay. And now they see the value. So you've created this professional video tour for them, which is what most people on Zillow actually want, but there are no videos on Zillow. And they can text to get that link. Okay. And so I say, well, there's two ways I can do it if you're interested. They can either text you directly, so I can put your contact information on the photo, and then you can text them back the link. Or we have a text autoresponder service that will do it automatically. So some sellers prefer this because they don't have to reply to text in the middle of the night or all day while they're at the work. Okay. So it's completely up to you, and I'm equally comfortable with both options. Okay. And then the seller will tell you their preference, and you say, okay, cool, I'll make the image, email it to you. Now you're probably wondering, how the heck do I make this image that I've just promised them? And all you have to do is go to freephotobranding.com and we'll do it for you. So this is another free service that we made. You just go to brand my photos, enter your email address to get started, and then drop in their lead photo from Zillow, brand it with a call to action. So text this unique property code to this phone number. You're going to capture buyer leads when they do, okay? And they're going to be sending out their video tour to more and more people who are finding them on Zillow instead of the Zillow traffic calling the realtor, okay? So the only thing that you might struggle with at the end is a lot of people are curious why you would go to all this trouble to help them, okay? So a lot of times you'll get a question at the end that's like, why are you doing this? Like, what's in it for you? I'm just curious, okay? Because people are naturally suspicious. So I always tell them, well, the truth is I am a nice guy, okay? I'm just a straight up nice guy and I love helping people. But when this service connects you with more buyers, it'll connect me with more buyers too. So some of them are going to buy your house, or one of them is going to buy your house, but everybody else is going to be in need of a property once yours sells. And I want to be the realtor that represents them, or I want my team to represent them. Okay. And so it actually does serve me if you use this, but I think that it'll help you find the right buyer for your property. Okay. Now, this is just the end of the first phase of this approach. Because remember, this is supposed to be a script to help you convert more FSBOs into sellers. Okay. But you just made friends with this person. They absolutely love you. You offered up your tools for free. They're ready to reciprocate. And so what I recommend after this point is to text them. Don't call them. Don't bug them. Don't email them. Text them once a week and just check in on them. Okay. You let them know, hey, I had 3 new buyers come through. One of them might be a showing, but it seems like this is the issue. Okay. Or it seems like this is the problem. Okay. How has your luck been? Are you having any luck getting traffic to the property? Okay. And what you're going to find is most people, when they've got this new friend who's a realtor, okay, most people after a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, they're going to start to get antsy and they're going to wonder why it's not selling. Okay. And they're going to go to the closest person that they think of as an expert, which is now you. Okay. Somebody that they like and somebody that they trust. And they're going to ask you what you would do if you were in their shoes. Okay. And this is when you say, well, look, do you want to meet for coffee sometime? I'm happy to be an open book. I'll show you all of my strategies for moving homes as quickly as possible. Okay. And this is where you set up the presentation. Okay. So this actually happened a couple of weeks ago. I had done this strategy with a forced sale by owner. Her name was Tommy. I've actually mentioned her in a previous video. And a couple of weeks after I had done this strategy on her, I'd set it all up on Zillow, and I was getting free leads from her listing all the time. Okay. She actually reached out to me and she said, hey, do you know a good appraiser that I could use? Because I'm worried that the house is overpriced and I really don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Bingo. Okay. I said, well, look, why don't we meet for coffee? Okay. And in her case, she actually ended up being out of town. So I said, well, why don't we Skype, or why don't we call, have a phone conversation later tonight, and I'll show you exactly what I would do if I was in your shoes. Okay. And that's when you have your listing presentation. Okay. So you give the 8% presentation, you show the difference between traffic and price, and not using price as the prime motivator, and you're off to the races. Okay. If you can get the presentation, you already know that 3 out of 4 times you're going to close the listing. Our team actually has a higher close rate than that. Okay. But this is all about getting the presentation in the first place. And this is a great way to do it by cold calling FSBOs, but never getting hung up on not having to deal with the crap of people hating you or wondering how you got their phone number. You're doing something for yourself. You're also doing something for them, helping them connect with more buyers on Zillow and Facebook. Okay. But most importantly, you're just warming them up to the fact that not all realtors are criminals. Okay. Or not all realtors are sleazebags, and you're getting them to trust you. And once they trust you, when a question pops up, or they start to get frustrated and they start to wonder why isn't it selling, you're going to be the person they go to, and then you can do the little coffee shop gig, okay, or the little coffee shop trick. Hey, why don't we meet for coffee, or why don't we meet for lunch? And I'll just tell you everything that I would do if I was in your position, okay? And I've done this, and I've just given great advice to people that ended up still selling the house on their own. But I've also done it where I gave the presentation and they chose me right away, okay, and they wanted to get their house listed. So that's the whole strategy. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them. Take care. Bye.